Today's feature needs no introduction. MJ, also known as Thwip Space, is known in the Bearbrick community for the incredible acrylic cases. Her collection speaks for itself. They're stunning, unique, and absolutely breathtaking. It's truly one of the best in the world collection. Let's jump right in. Show us your bricks, MJ.
Hi, I'm MJ, and welcome to Thwip Space. Brick Chicago reached out and asked if I'd share my collection. I happily said yes because I got really excited at the thought of finally sharing what I've curated over the years. Now, each piece here that you see in my collection has a special meaning to it. It's either how I found it, why it matters, or the memory that it's tied to. And really, that's what makes collecting so special. And here is my very first Bearbrick. I got this from a friend, I believe back in 2011 or 2012 when he went to Japan. He brought this back as a gift. Now, I can't say this is what started my obsession with Bearbricks, but it was my very first one. Here is my wall of 400%. Now, I connect with these artists and designs personally because among the huge sea of Bearbricks out there, only a handful of lineups are meaningful enough for me to chase completion. So these are the figures that I decided to stick to. And you'll see my vinyl collection here, my designer toys. And we'll pan over to the other side of my office. This wall is more of my art wall. I decided to stick again with the pieces that mean most to me, and I wanted to keep this space a little clean and minimal just so it can help make these figures really stand out. Now, of course, let's focus on Spider-Man. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And Thwip is actually the sound of Spider-Man's webbing. So that's the reason behind the name Thwip Space. You can see here before Bearbricks, I collected statues, 1/6 scale figures such as Hot Toys, Legos, anything that had Spider-Man's logo on it, it was being added to the collection. I had to actually tone it down. I had to curate this because it was starting to get crazy. So here it is. So it was really natural for me to carry over that obsession of Spider-Man into Bearbricks because thankfully there are so many suits out there, but I stuck with my favorites. You have the classic, you have Toby, you have the Yellow Eyes with Andrew Garfield's version, and the different versions of the current suit. Go Spidey! Oh, and I wanted to show this one. So this 400% Bearbrick is the most meaningful to me because this actually has a story with my family, namely my son. Now, I used this Bearbrick for his monthly milestone photos, so you could see from 1 month up to 12, and it was actually a theme for his first birthday. So this Bearbrick means a lot because it helps remind me of him growing up and just celebrating motherhood. And the Yellow Eyes, I think, would have to be the rarest one in my collection. I have the 1000% here too. And this is the moment when I knew Bearbricks wasn't just a casual hobby. It was when I was really focused on finding a way to display them properly. Now, I was really going for that minimal, clean aesthetic, and nothing really out there existed. So I designed my own, and thankfully my husband was able to bring it to life. And that's how the Thwip Brick was born. Now let's go back to the wall. I brought down some pieces, so let's start with Hebrew Brantley. I'm obsessed with his work. I love how he really characterizes superheroes through the eyes of children. You know, being a mom now myself, I'm really focused on these young hearts, young eyes, and the powerful storytelling that really empowers kids. I actually met him at DesignerCon too, so that makes this extra special. Now moving over, we have Cause, the famous X-Eyes, Brian Donnelly, the artist behind these amazing figures. I love his work. I really believe he made such an impact in that contemporary art space and bridged fine art with pop culture and design, and that's why everyone loves him so much, and he's really sought after. Now moving down, we have Billionaire Boys Club. I love space, sci-fi, and astronauts. So when I found out about this brand and how he meshed this world with fashion, it really made me want to complete this lineup. So here are my Bearbricks of Billionaire Boys Club. Now moving down, we have none other than Futura. If it's not already obvious by now, I love Futura. He is the icon of graffiti and street culture. So when I look at this lineup, it really makes me feel like I have a piece of art history. Now I have a really cool story to share about Futura. I met him at ComplexCon last year, and that skate deck behind the Thwip is signed by him. Now, he did that because he respectfully and politely declined signing my Futura Kubrick that I brought with me. For reasons that I don't know, I didn't want to ask. But to kind of break that ice, I showed him the Bearbrick. I showed him my cases and how it held my favorite, my top 8, and that it was his. He was pretty amazed. He thought it was really cool, so I was so happy about that. And it seemed like he was reminiscing a little bit about the Bearbricks. Now, I know these Bearbricks are pretty old, so for him to see that again, it kind of made him look back. And that was the story. I was really happy to meet him, and it's an experience that I'll never forget. Next, we have Punk Drunkers. Now, their motto is "Uncool is cool," and that's exactly what I love about them. Their designs embrace the weird, the funny, the totally unexpected. That's just a mix of offbeat and really authentic. Now, this might have to be my rarest Bearbrick because in all of my years of collecting, I've only ever seen it once. So the day I first laid eyes on it, I had to snatch it. I couldn't let that moment pass. And next up, we have Ron English. Now, you'll see a lot of him in my collection. I love his bold, pop surrealist style that critiques fast food Americana. His designs really stand out visually, but it also really makes you think. Now, here is the Mount Fuji series, and this one also means a lot to me because my husband and I hiked Mount Fuji in 2019. And when I look at this, it reminds me of that adventure. Here are my 1000% holding the actual hiking sticks that we used to ascend to the summit. And fun fact, when you climb to the top, you can stop by these little huts and they burn these souvenir stamps on your stick, which I think is a really cool memorabilia to have. So pairing it with the Bearbricks makes it look really cool. And if you look closely, there's the trail that we hiked. And lastly, we have Shepard Fairey. Of course, he's the artist behind Obey. Now, his work started out as an underground street art campaign that grew into this global movement about questioning authority and just really seeing the world differently. I'm glad his Bearbricks are in my collection because it really brings that rebellious and bold edge. Now, back to the wall here, you'll see my display cases, and I like to pair my artist Bearbricks with their matching vinyl figures. A lot of these artist Bearbricks came from DesignerCon, where I was able to meet the artists, have conversations with them, take photos, and even get pieces signed. You know, it's one thing to own a piece, but when you meet the artist and they sign it, it really becomes something more. Now let's start off with Luis de Guzman. I just feel a really special pride in supporting him because of our shared Filipino roots. Representation, culture, and heritage does matter, and it feels good to see that reflected in this space. And here we have Stephen Harrington. Now, I love his playful, psychedelic pop art style that you can see on the design here. I had to pair it with his latest subconscious figure. He is such a key figure in California's pop art, and being from California, I needed to add him to the collection. His characters bring such a vibrant and uplifting energy. And you can see here he customized this 400% when I met him at the Babe store in LA. And here's another favorite of mine, Greg Mike. When I met him at DesignerCon, I asked him not only to sign this Bearbrick, but to doodle on the head. And he sketched the Spider-Man can from his NFT project a couple years back that I supported, which was really cool. And I'm really glad he was game to have fun with this Bearbrick. Ooh, and these are the Kubricks I was talking about that Futura respectfully did not sign. And here's another view of the display cases. Moving up, I have the music section of the display case. Love Daft Punk, and I also love Stevie Aoki. Fun story, I actually got caked by Stevie Aoki. I made a cake me sign, and of course, he had impeccable aim. He threw that cake across the floor and landed right in my face. It was the best moment of my life. And here is OG Slick, another favorite of mine. You have to represent that West Coast energy. I met him at DesignerCon and he embellished this 400% Bearbrick, and I loved seeing him work up close. It was really special. And finally, here's the rest of my collection. Now, aside from Bearbricks, I love collecting designer toys, and I also have a big passion for displaying them. Now, as a collector, what I would advise is to buy your pieces for the love and passion of the hobby. Now, I like to do it in a way that makes sense to me. I like storytelling through cohesion, so a lot of my pieces are paired by either color, by artist, by theme, by design, and I just have fun with it, which I feel collectors should too. Enjoy your pieces and have fun. So that's my story. I'm MJ, also known as Thwip Space. I'm a woman collector, a curator at heart, and for me, Bearbricks connect art, stories, and family. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility and a lot of Bearbricks. Enjoy!